It's a story you'll see only on News 4. Thomas Civic will likely spend a little more than 5 years in prison for beating a Capitol police officer during the January 6 riots, stealing that officer's badge, and then trying to hide the evidence by burying it in his backyard in Amherst.
In an exclusive interview with Don Postles, Dr. Gene Civic, who is Thomas's father, talks about the challenges the family has faced since his son's arrest.
I'm going to come right out and say what Thomas did was wrong. There's no doubt about it, and I've told him so.
Dr. Gene Civic is making no excuses for her son's behavior during the January 6 riot on Capitol Hill. Save him! He was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison for his actions, and Civic says the federal judge was fair.
First of all, I want to say that I think she's been very fair overall in handling Thomas's situation. Not necessarily with the sentence that was imposed, but fair throughout the year and a half, almost 2 years that we've been dealing with her.
Civic says his son went to Washington to hear President Trump speak. They're alumnus of the same military academy and wasn't planning any protest.
You don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
He didn't go with anybody, didn't plan on meeting anybody there. He just went on his own. And unfortunately, was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Thomas Civic was charged with taking the badge and the radio from Metro Police Officer Michael Fanone, who testified before Congress he feared for his life.
During those moments, I remember thinking there was a very good chance I would be torn apart or shot to death with my own weapon. I thought of my 4 daughters who might lose their dad.
Officer Fanone also suffered a heart attack and a brain injury.
I was grabbed, beaten, tased, all while being called a traitor to my country.
But Civic says his son was not part of that.
If you look at the video, which is public knowledge, Thomas's contact with the Officer Fanone was less than 2 seconds. Officer Fanone already incurred his injuries before Thomas had any contact with him. Save him! It was chaos. And, a lot of people panicked. I think on both sides, people panicked. And we have the results that we did.
Thomas Civic took a plea deal rather than face trial in D.C.
I have no doubt that they could get a fair trial in D.C., but they can't get an impartial jury in D.C.
Thomas Civic will find out which federal prison he'll serve his time in 4 to 6 weeks. Don Postles, News 4.